In this video, I wanted to have a look at solving inequalities. So when we're solving inequalities, it's very, very similar to when we're solving equations, but there is one really important difference. And that difference is if we multiply or divide by a negative number, we have to switch the inequality sign, so flip it over, to keep that inequality statement being true. So let's have a look at some examples. So our first one says 3x minus 5 is less than 40. So we're going to go about it exactly the same way, just keeping in mind that if we come across a question that involves multiplying or dividing by a negative, we have to flip it. So this first one, we're going to add 5 to both sides of that equation. So we'll end up with 3x is less than 45. And then to get the x on its own, we're going to divide both sides by 3. And we would end up with x is less than 15. So beautiful, exactly the same working, we've just got a less than sign there instead of an equals sign. Now I've just realised I've made a mistake on the next two questions. I have put equals signs and they're supposed to be inequalities. So just cross out that equals sign there for me, put a greater than or equal to, and this one down here, put just a greater than symbol. Alright, so that's a greater than or equal to. I know it's a little bit messy, sorry. Alright, so what we're going to go through and do to solve this one, we're going to multiply both sides of that equation by 2. So that's going to leave us on the left-hand side with 4 minus t is greater than or equal to 10. We've got 4 minus t is greater than or equal to 10. To get rid of that 4, we're then going to have to subtract 4 from both sides. And we'll end up with minus t is greater than or equal to 6. So that negative was attached to the t, not to the 4. So we've still got a minus t is greater than or equal to 6. So there's no number in front of that really, but if we've just got a t, it means it's a 1t. So this minus t here means it's minus 1 times t. So to get the t on its own, we're going to divide both sides by minus 1. Now this is where that rule comes in. If we divide by a negative number, we have to flip our inequality sign. So we're going to end up with t is less than or equal to minus 6. So we went from minus t is greater than or equal to 6 to t is less than or equal to minus 6. All right, one last example. So we've got 12 outside of 9 minus 2m is greater than 50. So it's up to you which way you do, if you divide through by that 12 first or if you want to expand out. I'm going to expand. So let's go 12 times 9, which is 108. So we've gone 12 times 9 and then 12 times 2m, we'd have minus 24m is greater than 50. So we've just expanded that bracket. Now we're going to subtract 108 from both sides and we'll be left with minus 24m is greater than 50 minus 108. Oops. Gives us minus 58. And now we're going to have to divide by that minus 24 that's in front of the m. So we would end up with m is, and because we're dividing by a negative, we're going to switch that inequality sign. So it'll be m is less than, we've got minus 58 divided by minus 24. Now that gives us a pretty horrible decimal, so let's write it as a fraction instead. So we could write it as 29 over 12, or we can write it as a mixed numeral at 2 and 5/12. So m is less than 2 and 5 over 12. So that's a few examples of solving inequalities.